Mark Mountjoy sent me a story, and he named it My Bermuda Triangle Experience of 1982. And it goes like this. Hello, Brenton. I had tried to contact Guyan Quasar to share my story with him, but his contact would not work, and he never answered my Facebook request. My biggest fear is that I would die and no one who was really interested in the area had heard or considered what had happened to me. This is why I want to share it with you, knowing that you will take it in the spirit it is shared and not consider me to be some kind of nut or bald-faced liar. I do not want notoriety. I just want to share the terror that sought my life like I was a thing, and that's all. First off, I was born in 1960 and raised in a very strict environment and never did drugs in my youth. So I was in a Marine, and it was 1982 in April or May that our ship was going from Morehead City, North Carolina to Puerto Rico for a military engagement. We were deployed in case the Sanhedrists did anything that President Reagan thought might be cause for war. A little while earlier, a few years before this, there was a group of Navy personnel who was shot on a bus, and basically that was one of the first terrorist attack of this age that we're in now. Early on the trip, our ship lost power and regained it with backups within 5 or 10 minutes. Then they immediately shut down and we were without power for 3 hours. We were in a convoy and the lights were operated by batteries so that the other ships would not ram us. One of the guys on the ship was from Eubora Voodoo Village in South Carolina. He seemed to know exactly why the ship was stopped, which was exactly 12 midnight. That night he told us that they did it, but he wouldn't tell us who they were. In the morning he told everybody in the area not to report anything to the authorities about what he was saying about them. Anyways, in my recollection, because it was so long ago, it was 2 or 3 days into the trip that I decided to go on top to see what the ocean looked like. I had never seen the ocean from a ship, only from shore. When I came out of the hatch and saw the impressive expanse of water, I was praising God for the beauty of it. I was truly impressed by its vastness, and it was not in any way, shape, or form upset or scared. I just wasn't upset or scared. Everything was just fine. I was standing there thinking that, daydreaming about how awesome it was, when suddenly, out of the clear blue, I heard a loud voice. It was the voice of a woman, a giant woman. If this voice had been a man's voice, I would have thought it was God himself. But it was not a man's voice. She asked me to jump into the water. After the voice said that, there were 2 paced booms, the sound coming from all directions as if it were from the horizon. It sounded like a sonic boom, somewhat delayed after she spoke those words. When I looked around to see where the voice was coming from, it seemed like surround sound, like it was coming from everywhere. So basically, every time this big goddess, huge voice spoke, there was 2 sonic booms that happened. The first thing I thought was, my God, the ocean is talking to me. It didn't scare me. It made me very alert and very, very curious. I wondered what happened, or what would happen if I told her I could not swim. So I said it. I can't swim. And she said to me in a seductive but very loud voice, "You do not have to know how to swim." Boom, boom, on the horizon after the slight delay. I still wasn't scared, so I said, "The water is deep." She came back and said, "It is not deep." Boom, boom. When she said that, something happened in the pit of my stomach, like what happens when you know someone just lied to you. I thought, wow, she just lied to me. How can it not be deep if we're out in the middle of the ocean on a ship? I told her the water is cold, just to see what she would say. And then she said, "No, it's not cold, and you won't be hurt. It will be like being in your mother's womb." Boom, boom. When she said that, I understood right away that she did not understand human beings, and that whatever this was malevolent. I thought it was a spirit because I didn't see what it was. But I was no longer curious, and I wanted no more of it. However, when I tried to turn and run, she stopped me by paralyzing my entire body, and she commanded me to look at the water. Boom, boom. I tried to not look down, but my neck bent against all my will. Once I was looking down at the ocean flood, she started talking and assuring me that I could do it and I would be okay. I was asking, pleading really, "Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure?" Then something new started happening. I could feel my brain as if it was shrinking. Not literally, but it seemed as if my mind was being reduced to stop my resistance to go over the edge. I was thinking about nobody would know what happened to me. I was thinking about my mom. I was thinking about I'm only 22 years old. I was thinking, this is going to kill me. I don't want to drown. It seemed my knuckles were going to break. That is how firmly I was holding the ship's railing. Then something new started happening. She was shrinking my mind. It was like my brain was going down to the size of a pea. Suddenly, jumping over the side of the ship started seeming less and less threatening and more like the thing to do. She had me put my foot on the rung and then the other. When I was just getting ready to hurl myself down, I turned to my right and saw the churning water of the propeller and thought, wow. And I really thought that the blade was going to just cut me up into pieces. It was like that thought shocked me, and then suddenly I noticed she wasn't talking to me anymore, and I suddenly had power over myself again. I fell back from the railing to the deck. I actually stood up and hesitated because I knew she had the power to make me do it if she wanted. When I was silent and nothing happened, I escaped into the hatch and I turned the wheel a half a turn, trembling. I said, "She almost got me." Well, this story is true, and I cannot say what it was because I never saw anything. It was a beautiful day, and I could see the ocean clear in every direction. Nothing was wrong with me, and I definitely was not suicidal in any way. It was not until about 2008 when I came across a USO video on YouTube that I began to surmise what had happened to me, and maybe the ship stopping was not spirits but something quite different. The thing that creeped me out the most was the thought that she was lying to me, and she did not know that grown people didn't relish the thought of being in a fetal position in a womb, and she was totally oblivious to my need to not die in the sea. When it was happening, the only thing I could think of was how unfair it was that nobody would ever know what happened to me. I was different when I came back to North Carolina, more psychic. Other than that, it is a lasting, terrifying, and debilitating memory. I will never know why she gave up or decided to let me go. Maybe I stalled too long when I was fighting for my life. Who knows? But this is my story, and I wish others to hear it and to know what I experienced, all these odd things in this area. So thank you. Bye-bye.